The Preds are a favorite in the series, despite being swept in the regular season, despite having a worse record, despite being the 3 seed in the AL. I need to make them the favorite. And I'm going to put them at minus 140.
Wow. Hey, welcome back to Fade the Mahoney, our first ever 5-box. We've got 3 of the guys from the Coastal Cobras. We're going to recap the ALCS. We all just watched them beat the Predators. We've got Sean Flynn. I have no idea if I'm pointing the right way. We got the Red Baron, and we got the birthday boy, Drew Davis. I'm Mike. Trevor over here. We like to talk gambling, but we also like to talk MLW. So let's recap it. Not since, what would you say, Trevor? Game 3 of last year's World Series. Have we had a more meaningful, intense game than what we just watched?
I'd have to agree with that. That was pretty intense.
Oh, congratulations, guys. Betting wise, I won. I bet on you guys. Trevor gave me plus 140 for some reason. So that worked out really well for me. But Trevor had Cratch in the ladder, and I took a complete no-show in Sawyer Bien for my squad. So I lost by $1 million. We basically broke even. I won a little bit.
Mike.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you. I guess maybe not a question. I guess a statement, something. But I was actually really surprised that in the preview that you thought Sawyer, or you predicted Sawyer was going to pitch 2 games.
Yeah, I don't know anything. So I just kept, every inning that started, I just kept assuming Sawyer was going to come out onto the mound at some point, especially going into game 2 and then going into game 3. As we've said many times, Drew, you're not a very good manager, but it seemed to be you pushed all the right buttons this time. So congratulations on that. Was there any thought to have someone else throw other than the Red Baron at any point?
I think we discussed it after game 1, just after they hit a few homers, but we just felt more confident with Brendan.
All right. Brendan, you pitched pretty well, I guess. It's pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The usual.
My first question is for you, Brendan. What do you think the commissioner means when he says you have sneaky athleticism?
Bear to the left side. What a play for Barrett. Got him at first. Oh my goodness. Baranowski, sneaky athleticism. Drops to his knees and throws a dart.
He means that the rest of my teammates are so athletic that I'm known as the unathletic one. So when I make a little slide and play, it looks very athletic. And they usually make the plays. So for once, I actually made a play where I was sliding off the mound. Usually I bobble those, but that one I made looked pretty cool on camera too. So I like that.
I mean, there's got to be a full highlight reel of Brendan's defensive plays from the season. He's had a bunch of clutch defensive plays. So, you know.
That play looks so sick on camera with like Sean snagging that ball too. Like, it was just so close.
They got a nice shot of that.
What'd you say, Sean?
I said they got a nice shot of that. Got a good angle.
Yeah, that
was a great grab at first. About 2 feet above your head.
You guys, for the most part, had exceptional defense throughout the entire series. The 2 issues that I guess I have a question about, Sean, they both came from you going from first to third, where you just sort of flick the ball across the field. Is that instinctual, or is that a play that's designed, or you practice? Because both of them seem kind of odd, but neither of them stung you, and it sort of froze the guys in their tracks.
Are you talking like when it was a play at first and then I threw it over to third? Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, no, totally instinctual, and probably shouldn't have done it on that last play of the game.
Ground ball to the right side. Flynn, save it first. Here comes Russell. Save it third.
I didn't remember that happening at all until and then when I watched the series back, and I was like, oh my God, that could have been a disaster.
The nerves were never higher in an MLW game than those final innings.
Yeah.
Because I think the same play happened in the first game and in the third game, where you had a some sort of play.
There were similar plays.
Okay. Trevor, go for it. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to get into the fact that up against the wall, all right? Like Mike and I talked about what the live line would have been on the series at that point when you guys are losing, or not, sorry, not losing, when you get the bases are loaded, no outs, right? What is the conference between you guys? What are you guys saying to Barron there? Like, what is you guys feeling at the time?
Yeah, I mean, well, it was kind of like unprecedented to me, I feel like, because they had that first, if I remember correctly, it went base hit and then 2 walks. And I believe the 2 walks were like, they don't show it on the camera because they show the last pitch, but they were like 4-ball walks, I think. Or maybe the last one he fought back from 3-0 to 3-2 and then he walked him. But so it was like, it was weird because like usually Barron's a strike thrower. And so like when they walked him, I think I just told Brendan, I was like, we can't lose on a walk. I was like, just make him hit it, just throw something in the zone. And Brendan's obviously good enough to do that, to just like put it in the zone when he wants to. And so it was more me and Sean, like we were just kind of like, we got to make a play. Like we crept up in the infield.
Yeah, I don't know if you
like,
guys saw how close we were lined up, but we were
we were like if there's a
parallel with
ball
the
on
pitcher's
ground,
mound.
Yeah, it was scary. And then once we got 2 outs, we knew we could back up, which actually was a good thing because if Russell would have hit that ball before, it might have made it a little bit harder of a play. But yeah, we backed up when Russell came, and I'm not gonna lie, when Russell hit that ball, I thought it was out. Like first reaction, I thought it was out, and then I saw it kind of hang up in the air for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, okay, Sean's camped under it. But that ball had so much. That ball had the most backspin I've ever seen of any ball ever. I was so glad Sean was catching that because I was scared to catch that.
Prior to that, Brendan, you seem to be controlling the defensive lineup. Can you explain the decision when you were switching guys, both Sean and Drew, from side to side, and why?
So when Warda comes up to bat, he's a lefty. He's the only lefty in the lineup. And when the bases are loaded, only 1 out, we got to go home with the ball. And Sean has some shoulder problems, can't throw as well. So I wanted Drew over on the right side in case Warda pulled the ball, because Drew would have a better chance to throw it to the backstop than Sean would. So in that sense, we had to go home with it. So I wanted Drew with a better arm throwing home if there was a ball to him or ball pulled.
Gotcha. And then you switch back because Brendan is a righty, and that probably saved the season because Drew just admitted he wouldn't have caught the ball at the wall, right?
Yeah. And I like Sean at first base. You can tell he makes a lot of great plays over there. He's clutch. And if there's a ball to the left side, Drew can then throw it to first or try to tag someone too. So, and they're more used to those positions.
If I can just go back to what Trevor said about live odds. Before the game, Trevor made the Predators a favorite of -140, meaning if you wanted them to win the series, you had to bet 140 to win 100. Bases loaded, no outs, second game, leading the series 1-0, or leading the series 1-0. We had the live odds at Predators -2,500.
With Ryan Kratz coming up too.
With Ryan Kratz.
Yeah, with Ryan coming up, yeah.
At that moment in time, Ryan Kratz was the league MVP, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I guess we still have a couple more series to go to figure that out. Speaking of him, how tough is it when he does the quick pitch? Doesn't seem that anybody can ever do anything with.
Personally, I mean, I play baseball and I played in the wiffle ball league for 8 years. So I would say it's more
Drew hates
pitching. I don't like it, but I would say it's more the pitching. Like, I don't think that's what caused me to strike out per se. I would just say because his pitching's insane. I mean, Ryan's like the hardest pitcher, in my opinion, to hit off of. I don't know about what Sean thinks, but he added a new pitch this year, and the pitch is absolutely deadly. And so, especially when he adds that with the quick pitch, because that pitch is probably the fastest pitch that's thrown in our league. It's hard.
I have a question about the second game. Fourth inning. They never showed the replay. Can you explain specifically what happened when you got Warda out at second to end the inning? Was your fake what caused him to leave second base, or did he just simply overrun?
Fair ball to the left side. It's true. He's got no play. Warda's off the base and he's out. He overran second.
I think he just overran it. I don't even remember faking. I just knew when I got it that he was running really hard, and like it's Warda. He's an aggressive base runner, and so I was like in my head, it was kind of like that was my first instinct to just look to second because I knew I wasn't going to get the out at first. So I just like, looked to second. I actually hoping Sean was going to be there. That was kind of what I was looking at, but then like Warda was already there, but I saw him rounding the bag, and so I was like, oh, free out, cool.
I don't think I'm wrong, Trevor. They didn't show a replay that you remember, did you? No,
I didn't see the replay. I just assumed he was like Warda-ing. Like that's how he runs the bases. Like
Which wasn't. I think there was a play similar to that happened in the regular season against the Preds too.
Yeah, there was.
Well, ultimately, Sean, you won the second game. I'm not mistaken, right? You hit a 2-run homer in the second game.
Yeah, that was that game.
To win the game. Drew, you and Sawyer went 0 for 13 in that game.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that
we had a tough game. I think we only had like 4 hits the entire series, and 3 of them were homers.
I think I'm probably wrong. I'm usually wrong about everything, but I think all runs were on homers in the series. I think.
Yeah.
Was there ever any thought of you benching the kid since he wasn't really doing
Sawyer?
anything? Yeah, and letting Brendan hit.
Yeah, I think we did talk. I think we talked. Brendan and I talked about it, but I told Brendan it was my decision. So if it was the wrong decision, it's on me. I told him I personally like the fact that he is able to just focus on pitching, and then have Sawyer up to bat, and just with Sawyer, like how well he did against Ryan in the regular season. Like even if you have a bad game, I feel like you have to leave him in just in case he does start hitting. Like I feel like if I took him out, everyone would have looked like I was crazy because he hit 3 home runs against the Preds. Granted 2 of them were off Steven, but he still hit off Ryan well in the regular season. So I felt like I had to have him in because just of how well he did. We talked about it with Brendan, I think Barron, I think we did. I could be wrong. But yeah, I just told him that I liked him focused on pitching, and I thought Sawyer was the best chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think we also just have to spend some more time in Sean Flynn appreciation here because I think he's criminally underrated in this league. And I think you saw even before the home run, obviously you don't see the full at bats, but I feel like Sean had to have some good at bats there because he just kept getting walked.
Yep.
And we talked in the preview with this. I think it was Cheatham that brought it up, maybe, or maybe it was on Pipe It Up. I can't remember. They were talking about attacking Sean with the 2-seam, as a left-handed hitter, and how difficult it would be for him to hit and stuff like that. And it seemed like he was just, when Drew and Sawyer couldn't hit the ball, he was the one that was getting on base and obviously hit the home run there. So and obviously the defense as well.
If I could just step in real quick before and Sean get you to comment. I think it was on our show. I think Chris Cheatham specifically stated that Sean can't bat against Ryan Cratch.
And normally I'm going to lean almost 10 times out of 10. I'm going to lean with Sean in any given situation, but that Cratch screwball is Sean's not going to be able to hit that, and Ryan knows it. So
that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's redonk.
I think he said you can't hit the 2-seamer. You can't bat in this series if Cratch is on the mound.
No, I mean Cratch is definitely very difficult to go against, and yeah, I guess it's just sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And when you see a guy for pretty much 2 whole games, I pretty much could tell like it was coming to my body, it would be coming in toward the plate, and I was getting like a good read on pretty much what to swing, what not to, and I guess barreled one up and when it mattered.
Is that the best feeling you've ever had on a wiffle ball field? As soon as you did that?
It's up there. The Vermont home run was pretty awesome. That one win a country mile. Felt like, and then the Michael Page one, they showed that clip. That one's an all timer.
Can you tell me what that is? I don't have any idea. What does that mean?
Okay. It was against the Preds. It was this long game, went to extras, and I had a dentist appointment, like 30 minutes. And I was like, Drew, I need to get going. And he's like, yeah, just go like one more at bat. And then like you'll go, and worst case, we just sub in someone else for you. And then at the time, I walked it off, did the famous hail Dr. Michael Page, and then got tackled by
Ran
Andy
to his
and
dentist.
then got my teeth cleaned up.
What a day. What
Yeah,
a day.
really.
What else you got, Trevor?
I guess we had talked to Brendan a little bit about his approach versus the Preds. You know, obviously they got the home runs in the first game. What changed in the next two games? I mean, it's got to be hard, you know, knowing how many times you face them throughout the series, you know, and the approach. It seemed like early on, at least, that Brennan really was seeing the ball well. And, you know, that's how it comes down to a lot. You saw Sean hit the home run there. That, you know, that third piece or second piece or whatever you want to say, whoever comes through there is usually which team ends up winning. So yeah, how did you change your approach throughout the series, and that's why you had more success, or what was it going on?
A little bit. Russ he's really good at hitting in the count early. He knows to jump on those pitches because I'm going to be throwing more my strike pitches early in the count. So he does that really well. And on the one that Sean robbed, I think it was a 1-0 count that he swung at because I was just trying to throw strikes because the bases are loaded, and he kind of knew that. And then for games 2 and 3, I was just trying to strategically miss more because the ones where I'm getting 2 strikes and then I'm leaving them in the zone were like where the home runs were coming from, and trying to get them to swing at stuff that's just missing is a lot better than leaving something over the middle. And that's what they were hitting out. And they put a lot in place, though. We just made a ton of defensive plays that helped us out, and it worked out.
All right. I don't know who wants to take this first. Let's start with you, Sean. This is really the only question I really care about. Any response to the quote from Alec Warda?
You know, that's a really good Cobras team. Questionable if they deserve it, but
Yeah, that actually kind of caught me off guard because Alex a pretty I don't know, I feel like he's pretty humble most of the time, but I get like with the stakes, what we played for that series, there's definitely some tensions when you blow a lead like that, and definitely some salt in the wounds, I'm sure, from his end. So I was surprised he said it coming from Alec. Alec usually doesn't say stuff like that, but I don't know. I think we deserve it. Won the regular season, swept them, beat them in the playoffs.
Well, to be fair, they did beat you 1 out of 6 times, right?
That's right.
Drew, what do you think about that question?
Oh,
All right.
That was going to be real interesting.
The censors got rid of him. Oh, he's back.
It wouldn't be a Drew episode without him
Yeah.
going in and out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Where'd I leave off at?
You said you had some conversations
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah, so I had conversations with them before, with like since the video had come out and stuff like that. And the stuff we had talked about, like he was like, I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for your team. You guys. He actually said like you guys deserve it, and stuff like that. So I think it was just like emotions.
Yeah.
So I don't fault him for it. I mean, I think obviously it could have probably been handled better on camera, but I'm not going to fault him for it or anything like that. Like, the emotions are high, especially when we're going to California this year. Like it's the biggest World Series we're going to have. But I think it was just an in the moment thing, because since that's happened, we had some good conversations, because Alec and I are good friends, and so we discussed it, and he said that he was happy for us and that we deserved it and stuff like that. So.
All right, Red Baron, you want to say something incredibly nasty to Alec for me so that I have something good to clip and put on social media?
I won't say anything too bad, but when you beat them 5 out of 6 times in a year, I think we deserve it.
I'd agree with that. And congratulations on the pie. Is that the first pie ever that's happened in Major League Wiffle Ball?
Yep.
How great is this rivalry, though? I mean, it's just the best. Like
The biggest.
I feel
For
like
sure.
I would, if I were commissioner of MLW, I would make sure that Preds Cobras was a destination game somewhere, like where you get a big crowd going. Like it just would be such a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it was talked about. I think it was talked about, like if it was going to be us or like us against the Preds or us against the Diamondbacks. But I think they knew that it was going to be Diamondbacks. I mean, Preds and Wildcats at Toledo, and so I just don't think they wanted to double dip. But yeah, I agree. I personally 100% even unbiasedly, like think our rivalry is the best rivalry and like most intense in the league for sure. I don't think there's any competition actually.
Well, there's always next year. We'll have a few. What's up, Brendan?
I just want to chime in. I say I'm sorry, Trevor, but I disagree with that statement. I think that rivalry is so special. I think it should be played at the Meadows every time.
That's fair.
No
That's
outside
fair.
factors in on it, and I'm just the intensity that everyone brings to it. You know, you can see Sawyer and Russ going back.
I was
and
gonna
forth
say that's
all
one of
the
the
time.
few like actual hatred I feel between players in the league. And they're both pretty
The
outgoing.
atmosphere was a lot different for that series than the regular season series.
Oh, it was 100% different.
Like there was less like us worrying about the other person's team, and it was like we are both locked in and just like it was very intense. It was very stressful. Like my parents were there, and I think they were kind of like I think they might have been maybe surprised at how like intense it was.
It was incredibly high level. I mean, just from beginning to end. Warda overrunning second base is the only thing that I can think of that you could even remotely think was a screw up of any sense. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
it was such high level. Maybe it'll be opening day next year. Be a great way to kick off the season.
Maybe, but I kind of like it in the middle of the year because it allows both teams to settle in and like really make sure they're playing their best wiffle ball. Because even in years past, like it's kind of been a wake up call for us. Like if we're playing bad, it's kind of like, okay, we need to step up, and like we got the Preds coming up. It straight up feels like Michigan, Ohio State. Like one team could be doing bad that year, and I think they'll make that series close any year.
That makes you guys Michigan then, right?
No, how heck no.
Trevor, you got anything else for the AL champs?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't have Drew on without talking a little bit about 2017 and the ghosts of times past. So, you know, this is you've been waiting a long time for this. You know, it's 5 years in the making, right?
Yeah.
You know,
It felt
things in your head at all going into the World Series?
Not really. I mean, I think people forget like MLW was such a different at such a different place back then. Like it was definitely not as big as it was now. And I was like 15 years old. So I was like super young. So it's just different. But I mean, I guess honestly for me, it's anything like more my headspace is like even if we were to get down like 2-0, like I feel like, you know, I've been part of something that where someone can come back and do something special. So to me, if we ever got down 2-0, like I wouldn't be pressed because like I've been a part of that.
All right. Well, I know you've got your birthday dinner. We've got Mallards and D-backs coming up this week. Trevor and I will be back for our preview later in the week to see who you guys get to face off against in SoFi.
Who would you guys want us to face?
Trevor and I did some gambling before the postseason started, and we did a draft. I had the first pick, and I took you guys because I'm a genius, and I have the Diamondbacks on the other side. So I will be rooting for them so that I guarantee a victory. I'm gonna guess Trevor will say the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm definitely rooting for the Mallards. I mean, either way, I'll be excited to watch the World Series. A little bit financially, I'll be less excited. That was the same problem for me this past series because my son and I like to root for the Cobras. We've adopted the Cobras this year as our squad, and then I had to root for the Predators financially, even though I was enjoying the game. But financially, I was okay taking a wash on that just because I enjoyed the series. So
from an outside perspective, because I mean, obviously, like we're biased, but I personally think that was like one of the best series of the year, just based off intensity. And like you said, there wasn't really a lot of mistakes going on. It was just like really clean wiffle ball. And it seemed like kind of the best of each team. Like the things you wanted to happen happened. So, I mean, that's what I think. But what do you guys think?
I view it as if you had the Gators play the Magic and then just like did the complete opposite of everything they would do. That's what we got out of you guys. It was fantastic.
It was great.
That's really good. My last question, Drew, before your dinner, did you get naked? Did you jump in the river? Anything else to say you want to say to your fans or to Pred Nation, Sean, before we say goodbye?
No, probably just glad to be a part of this year's team and excited for the next series, obviously, but I don't think I've ever been more nervous for a pop fly ball than that one. And I'm still like,
Hey,
got
listen.
my heart racing from it. I don't think
Sean-
you guys realize how close I was to dropping that.
I didn't see it the first time, but on the replays,
Yeah.
man, that would have been a terrible way for
When you,
the show to
I'm
end.
not even kidding. That ball felt like, I said in the interview in the post game, that ball felt like it was in the air forever. But literally going through my mind, I'm like, if I don't catch this plastic ball, me and these 4 other kids are not going to have the opportunity to go to California.
Hey,
And you have to
Sean
hear it
Flynn is
in
him.
the comments too.
Oh yeah, the comments would have been.
Oh
brutal.
my gosh, I would never be able to live it down.
Your career would have been over in MLW.
I may have as well retire on the spot.
What were you saying, Drew? Anything?
I was just saying, Sean Flynn is him. He, I
He
mean,
is
that people, your guys are right. He does not get praised enough.
All right, Brendan. Last word. What do you got?
Love the Cobras fans. Love these guys. Gotten to know them a lot better this year, with our trips to Vermont and now to SoFi. I've gotten a lot closer with them and love playing wiffle ball with them. And I'm happy that we can all go to the championship together as a team.
I just hope both teams have fun.
All right. I personally hope that Sawyer will show up for your next series and do something. He's good TV whenever he's on.
Yeah. Hey, just so you know, there is a Sean Flynn youth jersey. So you may not be able to wear it, but get it for your kids. He's on the show.
To be clear, if I go to mlwmerch.com, I will find a Sean Flynn jersey on there.
It's only for youth. They only have a Sean Flynn youth jersey. We make jokes about it all the time.
I don't understand that, but it appears to be a loophole. And I do have the rule that if you show up on the show and you have a jersey on the merch store, I will buy it. So
Unless it got taken down. It could have
Yeah, I
gotten
don't
taken
know.
down. But at one point there was a Sean Flynn youth jersey.
all right. Well, I'll check it out. Do you know what your sales totals are so far, Sean? How many have sold?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think last year I sold 2.
Okay. 'Cause Russell said when
Yeah.
he was on the show, Russell said he had sold 2 all time. And then after coming on the show, he was up to at least 4. So I had doubled.
There we go.
I doubled
There
his
we go.
sales. So maybe I can do it for you as well. Trevor, you
Yeah.
got
I
anything
don't
to
see one on there.
what's that?
I don't see one on there.
They may have taken it down.
Oh, that's
I see
that's
the Gus
BS.
one. Gus has one.
That doesn't
Just-
seem to make a lot of sense. All right. That is our ALCS recap. Congratulations to the Cobras. Congratulations to Cobra Nation. You guys will be back on the YouTube in 2 weeks for us to watch the World Series. And until then, good gambling, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for stopping.
Hammer Cobes.
Yeah.
Hammer Cubs. Roll Cubs. Roll
Go
snakes.
Cobes.